Perspectives. The world is in a mess today. Follow the news and there you have it. Wars, authoritative governments, ecological destruction, financial instability, the list goes on and on. Many people, especially in the West, seem to have lost any sense of meaning in their life. Nihilism, despair, and depression are very common features of modern citizens. Religion does not seem to offer much of relevancy to many, as a lot of people, including many scientists, seem to believe. This is understandable, seen from the historical perspective of the evolution of belief systems in this world, especially in the West. After all, we've had the so-called Enlightenment period during the 16th and 17th century, followed by a skeptical 19th century where religious authority was increasingly overtaken by scientific authority. That resulted in a mechanistic outlook on life. The Industrial Revolution greatly contributed to this transition of outlook on life. Now, much could be said on the formation of the Christian belief system and its dogmatization during the last 2 millennia. But this has been well described by several authors, like Alvin Boyd Kuhn in his book Shadow of the Third Century, and James Morgan Pryse's work The Restored New Testament, and many more recent writers. In my book Rediscovering Transcendence, I give the links to these important works. These are free ebooks available at archive.org. In Appendix C of my book, one can find an esoteric, spiritual interpretation of some of the symbols present in Christian faith. When properly understood, this points to the underlying ideas of all the truly spiritual and mystical traditions, such as Vedanta, Kabbalah, Sufi, Rosicrucian, etc. While these traditions are old, they were never more relevant than today. My book is an attempt to present some ideas of this underlying framework and show that science already recognizes some features of this framework or set of principles in its physical aspects. Indeed, why would there be a fundamental gap between spiritual beliefs and scientific beliefs? Philosophy, spirituality, and science are simply asking different questions. Philosophy asks why questions, spirituality is involved with where to questions, and science with how questions. These are different lenses through which the world can be seen, observed, and experienced. Together, these observations and experiences can lead to a coherent framework, coherent vision on life, how to lead a fulfilling life, how to serve one's fellows, and so on. This knowledge is a priceless gift from past and present teachers. Chapter 7 of my book deals specifically with this framework, while Chapter 2 goes into detail how to become more flexible in one's thinking and become more observant of one's thought life. This chapter includes many exercises in this regard. The spiritual journey must be grounded in reality and include ethical considerations, as will be readily understood. Humanity is in desperate need for such a well-grounded vision in order to be able to transition peacefully into a new era of less material abundance and more social cohesion and cooperation. In the description box, you can find the written text of this podcast and the links to the books mentioned. This ends my second podcast. Thanks for